With that in mind, I'm going to read the civility and respect pledge. Civility and respect should be at the heart of public life, and good governance is fundamental to ensuring an effective and well-functioning democracy at all levels. The intimidation, abuse, bullying and harassment of councillors, clerks and council staff in person or online is unacceptable, whether by councillors, clerks, council staff or public members. Any person adjudged by the chair of the meeting to have breached this rule may be asked to apologise, withdraw their statement and or leave. That applies to all of us, councillors and the public alike. So with that in mind, stand up so I can see around. Public participation.
George is asking.
Speaking on his behalf?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, I'm speaking on George Crossman's behalf, I think. And the issue that has been being discussed has been viewed toilets. The toilets are not fit for purpose. They were up in F&E the other day about repairing them. They will be abused. They will get vandalised, as they have been in the past. Access down the lane is not suitable for people who have mobility issues, prams, wheelchairs, Zimmer frames. Very, very difficult to access. And the toilets aren't really suitable for anybody who is disabled. Another point to add in with this is future coasts viewed do not appear to have a contingency plan if the toilets on somebody's beach become inaccessible. Another point, we try to be inclusive. This should mean toilets for all, with facilities for baby changing, disabled, the elderly, people with medical needs, besides the able-bodied. That facility is sorely lacking in the town centre. George, you could have done a better job than this. Right, George has been looking at three possible areas. The wasteland in front of Sainsbury's, the triangle, which has been explored in the past and is very difficult because it's owned by 4 people, but one doesn't want to sell, would be a nice spot. Try at the top of Bellevue and where the road leads to somebody's car park, there is an area of land there which is approximately 9 metres by 5 metres in size, which could be another siting. We're sort of thinking about a fairly simple toilet, simple but really expensive, unfortunately. So it's something that I think, and George thinks in particular, that this council ought to take on board, possibly as a project, for trying to provide a suitable toilet within Bude, without having to go to present some of these cookfits. That's what George wanted to say.
Okay.
Well said, George.
And he did it in a lovely voice. Yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously, you and I have discussed this at length. You know the problems with the land in front of Sainsbury's.
Which is why I said,
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
is it possible that we do a community order on
No, much better. Access is poor.
put up into the courts then will turn around and put it up for auction and it can be bought. And it's used for community only. Nobody else can use it.
It's something.
Council's already come around and got loads of stuff on their website telling you how to do it. And that's an easy way to do it. It could be more than just a toilet, right? It's a money, scrub that.
I mean, it was explored at length from a legal perspective. I'm pretty sure I have explained
No,
this before.
you said we've got a match in the office and.
Yeah, and the answer came back, it had already been explored legally at length, and the advice was it would be extremely difficult.
Yeah, but
So, you know,
we think
as to the other sites,
they need
they need
investigating.
investigating, they're not owned by this authority.
One, I think that you didn't really know was the car parks.
Oh, yeah.
Like you said before. At the moment, there's a spot there, nobody's charged for any parking, it's there for.
Is that the Cornwall Council car park?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just one
That's-
spot, which would, that would fit in.
Unfortunately, we haven't got any Cornwall Council present, but
I believe that car park is privately owned and leased to Cornwall Council, from what I've been told. But I think it's something, George, that we can,
I would do
yeah,
an
we-
order to the council that
Yeah.
what they want through on it. What their stuff is.
if it's owned by another authority, that would be your point of call, I would say.
Yeah.
But I'd have to find the council clerks by doing an order on them to divulge the ownership of it.
Well,
So I'll do it through the information.
yeah, that's what I mean. I can't answer a question about somebody else's land.
Yeah, no, I know, but we can't turn around and find out whose it is, and so.
Yeah.
Mr. Curry has a lot of land in the centre of town. He could be approached. You know.
There's a few people that have a lot of land in the centre.
Yeah, I know.
None of them are around this table,
Oh, well,
unfortunately. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we agree that the need is there, but
If anybody's trying to go down that path, especially with something like that, or a wheelchair, before they can get to the toilets, they don't need it anymore.
yeah.
We have got future projects coming up, I believe, on the agenda at some point. Perhaps it's one to, a nice legacy this council could leave the toilet. The town
yeah.
would be an accessible, suitable.
And environmental have picked it up to discuss it, that's probably the best place for it, Kevin.
Yeah, the point I was just going to make is we are, as a community, as precept payers, we are subsidising the toilets already. So it is a significant outlay, and I would be slightly reluctant in the era of financial restraint to take on big financial outlays moving forward. There's also a lot of water gets used by toilets. There's also the cleaners get used by toilets. And it might well be that rather than the old traditional just a public toilet provision, we might be able to do something a little bit more innovative and reach out to shop owners and other people that actually do have toilets in the town, and maybe by subsidising them, provide at least some more toilet provision rather than building a block. Because wherever you build the block, it's always going to be in the wrong spot. If it's outside Sainsbury's, is that really the centre of town? Is it really that much further away than, say, the foyer toilets? So, although I take on board what you're saying, and as chair of F&E, it's something that we're looking at, I'm not entirely convinced personally, I can't speak for anyone else around the table, that building another toilet block is a particular goal.
With the golf club car park, if you could get a little bit of land there, it'd be an ideal place, wouldn't it?
On that, right by the post office.
No, the golf club car park.
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Well,
It's level, that's.
I mean, you get a hell of a lot of cars parking there this summer, so it's ideal where people are.
I think we all acknowledge the fact that provision isn't as good as it is. We don't own the golf club car park. We don't own any of the sites under discussion, which means
We need to chuck it over to the town
as much
team.
as we are sympathetic to the plight, I can't let you build something in your neighbour's garden, and I can't authorise us building something on somebody else's land. So I think the first port of call is the county council.
Brought up a point where it's at cost and that.
Yeah,
These toilets can be done either paid by a credit card or by cash. So it pays for itself.
yeah.
If you go down the route of having a solar panel with a phone screen in the back, or that way as well.
Okay, well, I think the point of somebody, Vicky seems to want, maybe
I'll approach Tony on it.
pick it up. Yeah, town team would be. Okay?
Is it, okay, I've only.
Yeah.
No, you're not allowed to. Carry on, carry on. Yeah, I'm stuck here, you folks.
Well, thanks for
Right,
that.
thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Really observing. You got something to me, Chris.
I have. But briefly, I'm a bit concerned with limit 9C. I think in future, the planning commission will have to be really careful what they're letting through. because if they're not paying attention, which is human, something significant can suddenly pop up, and you could have 350 houses being built on the outskirts of Potter. But my main thing is, this Saturday, the New Canal and Harbour Society have planned to have a free visit to the site of the New Canal. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. So what will be happening on Saturday is that 6 trustees, 3 and 2 cars, will do the visits at their own expense, and will visit the Stumble Inn for a lunch break and pay for their things, because it's the last of the 3 bicentenaries to do with the Hugh Canal, and it needs to be so.
You are right, and I did enjoy the youth celebrations that you invited me to.
Yes, you.
I wouldn't mind another lunch on your expense, but unfortunately I'm busy this
Yeah,
weekend.
no, that's all right, you know, we understand that.
Okay, thanks, Chris.
Adrian Gannon, just an update for the council. I'm chairing tomorrow a North Cornwall CAP Transport Subgroup. It's meeting at Week St Mary, taking 2 presentations tomorrow. One is an improvement and enhancement to the number 6 bus route between Beckhampton and Bude, which obviously is going to relevant to youth. And also a paper on the provision of a potential community bus for the new North Cornwall area. So both of those have been taken at that meeting as topics for discussion. We would like a future meeting, which I'm sure you've probably already discussed at the council, to touch on the parking ride and the lessons learned from that review, so that we can collectively on that. So that's for another meeting. But that's just for information.
Yeah, I look forward to actually seeing the data on the parking ride and all that. I think it's quite useful for us. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, my point was 9C as well, but I was a bit worried about. It bothers me that perhaps our council will be taken over and centralised with Cornwall, and what they say goes, we don't really get a say. Every 3 weeks, it'll be every month. What they say we'll do, it's getting a bit like Cornwall say if we do it, we've got to do it, we've got no choice. And then it's like, say, Westminster interfering. I've got a feeling that local councils are going to just be shut down. So I think we need to stay there. Our decisions.
Okay, thank you. Right, I think that's all.
I've got, excuse me, I've got one from,
Carry on.
from the public that's can't make it tonight. Following on from last month's meeting, when Terry Wilkinson came in about, he spoke about the traffic up and down Coast View.
Yes,
He was
yeah,
quite vocal about that.
yeah.
So I called in a few days after just to have a quick chat with him. And on the back of what I think Pete LeBroy said, with getting some signatures for his road would be a good thing.
Yeah.
I think he was going to take it forward. And when I called in, he'd already started. And by a couple of days later, he'd got pretty much most of his road. So I just said he wanted me to take it, bring it to this meeting.
Brilliant.
And I can't give that to Peter.
Yeah,
Obviously, but somebody could.
I'm sure if you hand it into the office, they could get it to him.
And also, at the same week, I also had 2 members of Linson Road say the same thing.
Yeah,
About their road.
yeah, yeah.
You know, not so much about whether it was 20 or 30, but if it is 30, could it be kept? Trying to even keep it at 30 would be
Some kind of enforcement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's not really. We went through that last week, but we can pass it on.
Yeah.
What is it? Always catches the local resident when he's coming home at night. never catches people in the middle of the day.
Right, okay, thanks. Right, so, item 3, to receive apologies and accept the reasons for any non-attendance.
Yes, we've had apologies from councillors Gibbs and Simons, personal reasons, and also core councillors Bay and Chopack cannot make it.
Thank you. To receive any declarations of interest on items on the agenda and agree any dispensations. And I think, okay, to receive a presentation by LJD Sports.
Yeah.
Are you ready or?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready. I'll just have it on the screen. But it doesn't matter.
We're trying, you tried out.
I'm ready. Yeah, go, cool. Yeah, good evening. Thank you for having me along again after many, seems like 12 months, I think it was the last time we presented. So I just wanted to update you really all on the holiday provision, what we've been providing, what's been happening at Easter and summer with regards to the holiday programme and who we're providing with the subsidy from Bude-Stratton Town Council and supporting the local families. So as you'll see on the handout, we had sign-ups this summer. We have 1,315 children sign up to our holiday programme this summer, of which 639 of these children access the programme for free meals. I realise obviously there's a number of new faces around the table since I last presented. I think there's you that were here previously, and Mr. Jennings as well. Was here on that last presented, but it's public time. So you very agree.
Yeah, you made more sense when I was over there, to be honest.
So, for the ones that don't know, I run a holiday programme in Bude. Been running it now for, this will be the 5th year. 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, I approached the Town Council regarding the local families being able to access the programme. The programme I run is linked with government funding through Time to Move, which is the HAF programme, Holiday Activities Food Programme, in where children that are eligible for free school meals through benefits related are able to attend the programme for free. What we set up with the council, here, the local council, was that the local children, as long as they went to a school in Bude-Stratton or lived within the Bude-Stratton area, under the constituency of Bude-Stratton, they could then attend the programme for £10 a day, with the council making up the shortfall. The agreement with that was that I would feed every child breakfast and every child a hot meal during that day, provide them with a range of activities, not just sport, but we would also do music, we would also do STEM activities. And since the programme started, it's grown significantly. We have the ability to take 100 children a day, and it doesn't matter their ability or disability. We've set up now strong partnerships throughout the community, not just within the local area, but also working with Cornwall Council, family support, working with social services and police, in which we've been able to secure safe places for children to come during the summer holidays. This summer being an example where on average we had 11 children a day who needed direct one-to-one support with intimate care plans. And in addition to that, we had additional one-to-one support. So on our biggest day was 19 one-to-one support children. We averaged 88 children a day attending the programme. And then on top of that, we also had 27 children that attended our programme who needed direct need through social safety or safeguarding to be able to come every day. We will report back to family services, police, or whoever it may be that we're working with for that particular child. As you can see, we also have at Bude-Stratton Town Council, we had 593 children attended the programme, 593 children signed up, who were through the voucher through Bude-Stratton Town Council, and then we had 83 standard bookings. And the standard bookings are people that are from outside the Bude-Stratton constituency. During the programme, we had some no-shows. That is common. No-shows are most commonly with the free school meal children. We had 40 no-shows from the free school meal children, 10 from the Bude and Stratton Town Council voucher, and 5 who were standards. Now that could be, so they couldn't be able to turn up, but that could be that the parents hadn't cancelled, something had happened, there might be an illness, whatever it may be. Compare that to the rest of the county. We are the lowest no-shows in the whole county, and if you compare that to the country, we are in the top 2% of no-shows, because most people have no-shows throughout on large numbers. Okay, so we've had loads of positive feedback, and the feedback that's come through directly to us ourselves in terms of they've enjoyed the program's been accessible. The biggest thing that comes back regularly to us is that the people in relation to Bude-Stratton Town Council is that they've actually allowed parents to work. And that's the biggest thing, that parents can attend and then they're able to work because they've got affordable childcare. Some of the ones that really hit home with regards to the Bude-Stratton one is the ones that are, if you're self-employed or you're on the bread line but don't quite qualify for the free school meals, is the ones that say to us actually to feed our children now for the next 3 months. Or we've been able to buy, there's one comment there where we had a direct letter that said she could buy our children's school uniform for this September because she's been able to work this summer. So in terms of what you guys provide as a town council, it's not just giving someone free childcare or cheaper childcare, it's actually the economic impact in terms of being able to work, actually summer jobs, children then, parents then, obviously then being able to afford to clothe their children ready for school. And on top of that, we hire Stratton Primary Schools where we run all our activities, and then in turn, we obviously pay Stratton Primary Schools to be able to use their facilities. So there's income going back into the school for them during the summer. So what went really well, the sign-up as always was really pretty straightforward and easy. We didn't have any glitches whatsoever this summer. Our days, in our opinion, went really well. We had lots of positive things in terms of the food to be fed. We fed 1,198 children with a hot meal during the summer holiday, and then on top of that we fed 923 children with a breakfast. Unfortunately, there was lots of people from outside feel that we're in a really pretty area. There are a lot of hungry children in our society who need that holiday programme just sometimes to be fed a hot meal in the day. I have created a partnership programme where we work with local businesses. Sainsbury's provided our fruit for our snack, Co-op provided all of our breakfast items, Morrison's provide our pasta, Mill Valley Farmers provide potatoes so we can feed jack potatoes. And then on top of that, this summer we also provided a range of cookery workshops in which we taught children to cook for themselves at home from scratch. And also talk about healthy eating and how that was more affordable, so we able to support that ourselves. And then the supermarkets provide so much for them to top up as well, which we buy in. But that partnership working with those local businesses is really important to be able to make it sustainable. Attendance, we were actually down on no-shows this year, so we have 50% less no-shows this summer than we had last summer. We had 35% down on cancellations, and cancellations happen, that's what happens sometimes, but 35% down. We had 3% less children with free school meals, and that's since the government's changes in free school meal criteria, so that coincides with that. 5% up on the amount of people accessing the Stratton Town Council voucher, and we were at exactly the same number of standard bookings this summer as last. What activities do we run? So we run a range of sports activities this summer. We run hockey, football, cricket, dodgeball, nerf, archery, lacrosse and basketball. We also successfully taught 27 children to balance bikes, 17 children to actually learn to ride a bike. And on top of that, we took 12 children out on the road and made them road safe to be able to ride on the road. We also, as I mentioned previously, we ran a cookery course this summer. So we ran twice a week. We taught the children knife skills, food hygiene, food safety, as well as teaching them a range of different meals to cook. And also we taught them the power of eggs and how important eggs are and what they can be used for, and many different things, including baking. So we made burgers, we made homemade slaw, we made chicken fajitas, we made our homemade guacamole, homemade salsa, and also we made pancakes. And the children particularly enjoyed making pancakes, as did everyone. So we only had 12 children cooking at one time because of the space we had and also health and safety. But everyone enjoyed the pancake day because the children that did the cooking cooked pancakes for everybody at the programme, and that was their dessert on that day. They also made fruit salad, and some of the children weren't so keen on the fruit salad, so they weren't so happy that day when it was fruit salad day for their dessert. However, what we did is it enabled us to teach children to cook from scratch, make themselves self-sufficient. You know, when the burgers literally came, mincemeat, everything was separate, and they had to learn to put that together, guacamole, salsa, etc. We also again carried on with our music sessions really successfully. We taught them ukulele, we taught them to play the violin. We also taught them African drumming, and then we included within that Maypole dancing as well. And we did some work around Maypole and the history of Maypole. We also did musical theatre, and then we had our STEM activities, which included Lego, water play. We also had the sand pits we made use of, and as well as the trim trail as well. I haven't put this page, but there's lots of pictures there. As I mentioned previously, this year was probably our biggest year in terms of supporting the children of SEND. Our children of SEND, we're really proud of our personal background that we've got of being able to support children of SEND. But what I want to show you with these pictures is that we integrate them into everything. It is part of the programme, they're not different. Katie, I'll sort of put it on the spot later on, but there was a mum that made reference to that when we had the visit from the DFE. So as you can see there, we've got Bella taking part in cookery, as well as Alan and Ryan. They're in sports activities. Thomas was our construction worker there one day. Daniel, Frank learning to ride a bike. We taught Frankie to ride. One comment was, I had sweat and tears trying to teach Frank to ride, and now she can. Fantastic, so that's really positive. But yeah, we also had a surprise call quite a way through that we had the DFE wanted to visit us on a virtual Teams visit. I was expecting a couple of people to turn up and on a Teams call and want to just chat to us. I was informed there'd be between 500 and 700 MPs rocking up on this Teams call to come and watch us and see what we're doing on virtual soil. And I needed to get parents, I needed to get children to come and speak, and any other local stakeholders that would come and be involved. So I was contacted the council and Katie came up for us. So in total there's 600 MPs on the court on the 27th of August. We demonstrated what we had to offer. They did a virtual tour, Active Cornwall and Cornwall Council led all of the technology element of it, and they did the tour. We had Tim Marion come up from Active Cornwall, we had help from Cornwall Council come, we also had other Cornwall councillors come. And we had children speak, and we had parents from SEND speak as well. It was a really positive virtual tour that we had. And some of the feedback that we had from the MPs, I haven't put everything, so it was quite a lot. And everything was positive, which I couldn't be more proud of. So well-rounded programme, a perfect example of partnership working and community collaboration. Someone said they brought a tear to their eye. This is how it should be delivered, enabling all, fantastic mix of activities, the SEND support and integration into activities shone through, and the parents' comments brought a tear to my eye, and how it supports her son's needs and makes him feel. And then fantastic, so I sort of collaborated the comments. The Secretary of the DFE also contacted me and to say that she wants to feature, would like to come down and see us as well, and also meet with all the various stakeholders that take part within our programme, that being the meetings with parent support advisors, yourselves as the council, all of the supermarkets and everyone we work with, and understand how that community collaboration really works. I have got a video, but obviously we're not going to see it very well, so we will shift them. So in conclusion, the programme was, again, a fantastic success. From our point of view, there was a number of children that attended that were repeat attenders. The biggest thing for me is the families and young people who I am fully aware of, and the work that we do with local primary schools to make sure we're getting the right children into the right places during the holidays, and that's working with the family services, the police, social services, to be able to support them. And then on top of that, being able to support the children who, families who need respite and need support to be able to work during the summer holidays with seasonal jobs. within Bude and being able to then support their family for the rest of the year. So now I'd just like to invite any questions from anybody.
Everyone?
I just want to say well done. And I mean, you know, I can remember the first time that you gave a presentation and I was in this room, and I was a little bit sceptical because at the time I'd recently been co-opted and it seemed like a lot of money, and it seemed like it could be just a few kids that were keen on football kind of hoovering up a few quid from every princess paying due. And it really isn't. It really genuinely is a nationally top of the range scheme that has got recognition for this town at the highest level. We are innovative in doing this. Of all the things that we put our hands up to during the last iteration of this council, I think this is the thing that perhaps we can be most proud of and should be most proud of going forward. So I can only just take my hat off to how you've run with this and taken a small idea and made it a nationally recognised leader. And it's not very often you say that about you, is it? That we are nationally recognised as leading in this sort of thing, this kind of community cohesion. And, you know, we do have a pretty place to live. But I've been told on numerous occasions that if you delve into the deprivation indexes, there's only 2 places in Cornwall lower than us for child poverty. You know, we are a poor community in many ways, and this just helps. This helps the people and helps the families of those who attend. So I just take them out.
Agreed. Yeah.
So I'm going to try not to get emotional because it actually is very, very emotional. When I went to see, I knew what you did and how amazing it was. But actually seeing it and seeing all the young people together, no matter what their abilities, seeing the impact it had on the parents, knowing that, you know, whether their children had SEND or they were able-bodied, but to be able to go together and enjoy that together. I honestly think this is probably one of the greatest examples of community working together to show what they can do and how much they can help a vulnerable part of the community. And I just...
Anybody else? Obviously, I've had my say several times before, so.
Yeah.
Just one point, Mr. Mayor, and that is a large number of the people in Bude will not be aware of it because of the very nature.
Most of them are by now.
But no, I mean the older people, the people who fund lots of things, you know, they're not more likely aware of the activities that you do.
Oh, right, oh, yeah, sorry, the older.
Those sort of people. No, not kids. No, kids are fully aware, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'd say, obviously last year, November last year, we were fortunate enough to be nominated by Cornwall and local. Our parents originally and young people who attend our programme nominated for the Cornwall Award for half. And then Cornwall nominated us for the South West Regional Award, of which we were fortunate to win, and we went to the House of Commons and collected that. And then, much to my surprise, we won the national award as the national winner for the whole. So, in terms of publicity, obviously, there's quite a lot of publicity around that side of things. But you're probably right. You know, I don't have photographers coming up and taking photos and things going on. As such, we've got number two, obviously, that can't take photos.
Yeah, quite.
However, there isn't any reason why it can't be, and I have invited, as Councillor Daw will know, I've invited many times, like Councillor Rudden, to come up any time as an open door policy, because you guys are backers of it, to come up and see what we do and attend. There's no secret, it's just come up and have a look, and more than welcome anybody is to come and see what we do and how we do it and what happens, and if you want to publicise it more, you're welcome to, but from my point of view, what we do is our advertising and all that marketing effort is going to the right young people and families to ensure that they're aware of what we're doing and that they're able to attend and participate. If we roll back a minute, I got to thank Katie because she was lumped on the spot a little bit when she came up with the DFE. Because I said, actually, hey, I want you to finish as the last person speaking what we do and how the collaboration works. Because the DFE MP, Stephen Morgan, when we went up on the award, his words, I'm blown away when I look at town council and stepped outside the box and actually supported something that is needed in their town. And he urged others to follow and follow suit. I've had a list of town councils and parish councils contact me who I've gone and presented to explain how it's done, how it's happened. And closest to us is Pastor and Farmer who are replicating it now.
Good.
Just on that, is it possible, or you might have already done this, but to go to the surrounding parishes and ask them to fund the same things for their kids, so it's not just Bude-Stratton's kids getting this?
Yes, so
if you live in Kilk or Manchester or Lawnsels, you're still as deprived as anybody here, and maybe their parish councils could offer the same kind of open scheme we do. Have you tried that?
So
or
we did 2 years ago. We did that quite actively.
Yeah. I'm assuming it didn't go very well.
It wasn't right for them at that time.
Okay. You should be sat around at this table.
I've been back since, and Munster Parish Council are interested.
Oh, yeah. I was just wondering if the publicity at national level and all of that lot maybe.
They are interested. No, most of the contact I had was from people in random places of the country, particularly rural areas and seaside towns across the country. Who contacted us asking how do you do it, what happens, how do you got your local supermarkets and your town council, how do you manage to work with all your local primary schools and parent support advisors and the direct payment team and the
it would be nice if the network, community network out there, or whatever we call it these days, are all involved, because a lot of those kids know each other through school. So.
Yeah, that hasn't happened.
Okay.
In terms of people coming back, yes. So
that is unfortunate, but
it was one of the things I did present, and I did say that because one of the things that someone had seen, one of the group saying I was a heritage engineer, I said I can rest assured to you, I've not spent half of that a year since we started.
Yeah.
So I said you might put 30,000, but actually what's been spent is not even half of 30,000.
Well, I'll just echo Kevin's thought that this probably was the one we got most right in our previous 4 years. Well, those of us that were here and seeing this, for the new people, this would be the one I'm most proud of, I would say.
Good.
The door is open. I mean that. If you want to come, Kate came up. Previous councillors have come. Just drop me a message, let me know.
Yeah.
You're welcome to come in. You can see what we do, and obviously there are challenges at times and things. I think we haven't just got to expect what to see. Just go with it.
Yeah. Right. Thanks very much for coming in again, mate.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll move on to my report, which is going to be nowhere near as exciting. I've got up to a few things this month. I had, as some of you will know, the High Sheriff of Cornwall visited the area, and we gave him a tour of a few local sites. I met him for lunch at Lawnson's Parish Church. Lovely, I've got to say. There's no representatives here, but it's not very nice church, very nice lunch. And I went on a tour of Billamy Castle up on the Shorelands estate, and we explored it there. I think Councillor O'Sullivan met him down at Heel Valley Trail. He was shown around the woods at Stamford Bridge. So that was very nice, and he spoke very enthusiastically of a lot of what we've got going on here. I also attended a SEND group meeting set up by two councillors set over there who probably want to talk about it more than I do, so I won't step on your toes, but that was also where I saw Jeremy there. That was also very good. And yesterday I laid the first, this year, Postmaster Luke Francis, was it Greenfield Engineering? Yeah, Greenfield Engineering have made some metal poppies that people can purchase, and you go up and stick them in the ground to try and turn Shoulder Hill into a wave of poppies. So yesterday I went up with those two, the aforementioned people. Jeremy was in attendance, and we laid the first 7 or 8. So that's something that's going to get publicised. I think we're going to push it on social media and in the press. So that's basically been my month. I won't discuss the events, I'm sure you are going to. Item 7, formal councillors, there are none. We will move on. Item 8, we'll note any reports from committee chairs and representatives on outside bodies. Do you want to give the report I've just told?
Well, I've got some other things. I'm going to leave that to Lorraine.
Yeah, that's fine.
So first thing I wanted to just mention was something from CNH, just to keep people updated. The Castle and Cafe had an audit, and we've put together a working group and we're going through that now. And when we have updates, we will keep you updated. But as of now, we've not got anything to actually update you on, so that's kind of it.
Cool.
Yes, the Bude Young People's Working Group put together a SEND event. Lorraine's going to talk about it. So that was what we had been working on, and our next conversation is on antisocial behaviour. And that's the date on that has changed now because everything to do with SEND is taken over, and I think we're going to be working on that for a bit more. So that's not going to be until the beginning of December now. But if anybody wants to be part of it, let us know. And something else that I have been doing, so as some of you may be aware, Bude Pride was cancelled this year for lots of reasons. I did have conversations with Cornwall Pride. We had a really good, open, frank conversation. We talked about the many issues that they have involving funding, and a lot of the companies that supported them financially are not doing as well, so they can't support them financially like they would like to. And so as a result of those conversations, the best course of action was to start a working group. And so I've now sent invitations out to people that I think might want to be part of this working group to have this discussion on what the future of Pride looks like within Bude. So it's much more than just organising an event. It's what does it look like in Bude, and it needs to be unique to Bude. So that's what I'm working on. I've invited lots of people. If anybody knows of any organisation or individual that should definitely be part of that conversation, please do let me know. We want it to be as broad as possible. So I've tried to reach every corner, from the police to the town council to, the town team, the nightclub and tourist information and police and everybody I could think of. So hopefully, it'll go well, and I will keep the council updated on what happens as moves forward. But that's all I've got to say.
Okay, I'm just trying to find the notes now. I won't ramble on too much, but thank you to the councillors that turned up to our SEND event. It was organised by the Bude Youth Working Group, and it was kindly funded, the room was kindly funded by Sendias. So the event brought together a wide range of local and regional services. Feedback was overwhelmingly positive. Over 90% of families said the event had helped them understand local support and find the right services. It was praised for being inclusive, accessible and full of useful advice. The suggestions for future events, including hosting on a weekend, offering refreshments and involving Devon-based services, which causes a few issues, as we know, with the cross-border. But we're taking all the suggestions forward and working on that. Something else you say about the SEND? No. I can't find the write-up, but there's going to be a write-up hopefully being sent out to the paper that was done by Sarah Ball from the North Cornwall Link officer. That was really positive. We actually did a postbox thing there as well, and that's actually come out. So if anyone would like to see the results of that, it was actually quite interesting. We also attended a CYP, which I'm presuming is Children and Young People, Persons Engagement and Participation Network meeting, which was also the NHS and ICB were there. The updates on the NHS 10-year plan, which we were involved with because we had the wellbeing events held in Bude. There was a strong emphasis on engaging young people in shaping local health care plans. Lucy's call to action is for us to help connect youth networks and run activities that capture their voices. I've put Bude forward as a potential hosting town as per usual, so waiting to hear from them. I was going to mention the LJD and the time to move, but I think Liam did quite well on that one, so there's no point. Faye Koloff from Public Health also shared early insights from the upcoming Child Poverty Report, which will publicly be launched on the 13th of October. The report highlights that 1 in 5 children in Cornwall are currently living in relative poverty, a figure equivalent to 1,080 classrooms. This year's approach placed children and young people's voices at the heart of the process, with feedback gathered from over 800 young people and 24 voluntary sector organisations. 7 key themes emerged from the engagement work spanning housing, transport, stigma, mental wellbeing, play and leisure, education and parental support. I'm pleased to share that Bude was represented in that work following a successful application earlier this year. I led a local engagement project in June to contribute to the report. It's encouraging to see Bude's community experiences reflected in this important piece of work. And I'll stop rambling now.
They said it was about 27,000 young people in Cornwall live in poverty right now.
But I'm also I've been invited to a poverty meeting next week. I think it's an open meeting if anyone else is interested, and that's at St Michael's Church on Tuesday. Give me a shout if anyone's interested in going to that.
Thank you. Anybody else got anything? Councillor Jennings?
We're going to start this pride fight all over again, are we? It's been good this year. The town's been quite peaceful and calm. I am, but I'm pointing out that next summer it'll all be kicking off again, won't it? The town will be fighting again.
Well,
that's what's going to happen, Michael. Whether you like it or not, that is what's going to happen.
Perhaps if we start the conversation the right way, it might not. I think we will leave it there. All right? Councillor Sullivan.
Yeah, I'd like to say something about planning. I was hoping to have an item on this agenda, or previously the last planning meeting, to discuss the possibility of renewing our neighbourhood development plan. As you know, I'm sure most people know, I'm not the strongest advocate of neighbourhood development plans, their effectiveness. But on the other hand, when I asked Councillor LeBroy recently if he thought we should review, bearing in mind that government funding has been completely cut, he expressed the opinion that we should look at renewing the plan. And there's been 1 or 2 things come up recently relating to neighbourhood development plans. One of the most irritating things actually is that when we say in our response to planning applications, our neighbourhood development plan says A, B or C, Common Council tell us, but your neighbourhood development plan is out of date because your housing allocations, such allocation is inadequate, so sorry, it's out of date. But on the other hand, numerous times they say they'll refer to our plan if it suits their argument. So it is. So that was another thing at the back of my mind about it. Then there was an issue that came up recently, is that it might not seem terribly important, but dark night sky policy is something that is in all the more recent neighbourhood development plans. But of course ours was done some years ago, but it's before this was sort of dreamt up. So anyhow, I was hoping to have a discussion, a rational discussion about whether councillors, I did contact Common Council to get advice on the whole process And even if we did want to do it, it would mean basically we'd have to start all over again.
Okay.
And like I say, there isn't. I was hoping to explore the possibility that we could make minor amendments that would bring it up, would make it valid again, but apparently not. We'd have to start the whole consultation process again, over again. So while, as I say, I'm not a great fan, but I was, hoping that, or, thought it might be appropriate to give the council an opportunity to discuss and decide whether it was something we should devote time to or we shouldn't.
Okay.
Something
Yeah.
from that, please. Why has it got to be? I'm looking at you if you've got the answer. Sorry. Why can we not just amend? I say just amend it. Why has it got to be done from scratch and go into consultation?
The Act, which I've forgotten the name of, set out the rules for the yeah, and I was surprised to hear that it is exactly the same process when you want to review. You have to start from scratch. So
It's to stop us doing it again, basically. That's what it is.
Yeah, I suppose the other thing to bear in mind is that even if you did amend it and come up with a new one, it would only be valid until 2030 anyhow, because they're being phased out completely in 2030. So, like I say, my feeling on it.
I know your feelings.
Well, it was give it was to give others the opportunity.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not just my opinion. Does the Vice Chair of Planning wish to make a comment? Sorry.
Well, this is, I don't want to shut down debate, but this is reports from committee chairs and representatives on outside bodies. It's a report, not let's have an agenda item to discuss.
Well, I did ask for.
I know you did. So
I did ask for. So an agenda item wasn't granted. So that's why I'm bringing it now.
If before I allow a full council discussion on it, I would like to see it on the agenda.
I'm not sure that there is any.
I
know, but I'm not sure at this stage. Is there any need?
Or do you not want it on the agenda? All right.
No, it's not. It's not about.
Can I just chip in there?
Very briefly.
Very, very briefly, because this does refer to item 9C. We've touched on dark skies, and it mentions on 9C that the committee adopt criteria for what constitutes a significant application to guide this screening process. The planning committee have been unable at this moment to come up with the criteria, so I think that it would be very difficult for full council to approve this recommendation at this stage.
Right, you've now jumped an agenda.
Yeah, I know, but it ties into the neighbourhood development plan.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I was going to say was that if it may not be worth a full agenda item, if councils agree, accept that it's not something that.
Okay, yeah. We'll discuss 9C when we get to 9C.
Yeah, this wasn't about 9C.
I know.
No, but it touches in.
Well, I didn't want to allow a debate because I had a funny feeling we were going to end up at 9C while we're on 8. Kevin, do you have a report for us?
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about the two things that are on 9C, although they did take quite a lot of time, particularly the opening hours of the toilets. Couple of significant points. We did discuss the foyer toilets, and we did give the go-ahead for the facilities manager to repair those and to look into effectively charging for those toilets. So that will be coming back to us as to methods of charging and pricing, etc. But we are going ahead and fixing the foyer toilets as a matter of some urgency. There is also going to be some baffling, sort of sound baffling put into this building. It's budgeted for. It's been long overdue. We are losing customers because of the poor acoustics of the park house. and we're progressing that, or the facilities manager is progressing that. Those, and the other 2 points were on 9C.
Okay.
Nothing to report.
Thank you.
Well done, well done, fabulous.
Well done.
Okay, we'll move on to 9.
Learn from him.
To approve the minutes of the previous full council meeting on 4th September 2025, I propose we approve them.
I second it.
All in favour? Against? Abstained? Approved. Committees to receive and note the minutes of committee meetings below. Planning Committee, 10th and 24th of September 25.
Propose noted.
We can only approve the 24th, can't we, because it was cancelled for the 10th.
Well spotted.
So we'll just approve.
There was none on the 10th. Is that? Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
so I will
Summer
adjust what I
season.
previously said to approve the notes of the Planning Committee on September 25. That was September 24. That was a proposal. Seconded, all in favour? Culture and Heritage Committee, 11th of September 25. Seconded, all in favour? Good. Corporate and Democratic Services on the 18th of September 25. Opposed? Seconded, all in favour? Good. Facilities and Environmental Committee, 25th of September 2025. Opposed? Seconded, all in favour? Good. Now we get to 9C.
Already done it.
To approve committee recommendations, so PL 15825, agree to delegate initial screening of applications to the projects and planning officer or equivalent, with authority to refer significant applications to committee in conjunction with the chair. Adopt criteria for what constitutes a significant application to guide this screening process. Cease commenting on minor household applications and pre-apps unless they raise wider planning or community issues. Reduce planning committee meetings to every 3 weeks with flexibility to add special meetings as needed. So, in case anybody wasn't here last time, this one came before us last time. There was quite a healthy debate and we resolved to send it back to the planning committee to discuss further. It's come back to us in effectively the same thing, although the only thing I note of difference is rather than being once monthly, the meetings are going to be reduced to once every 3 weeks. So that was my ambitious meeting of my phone failure. So we've effectively seen, or the planning committee seems to have split the difference between 2 and 4 weeks and come back to say they'd like to meet every 3 weeks. Is that an accurate synopsis?
I think so.
I think so.
Okay. So,
But it came out at the last meeting, and this was to do with dark skies, that a simple signage of a shop we would not probably have commented on, apart from the fact that I raised it, that it could have an effect on the dark skies, which suggests to me that our screening process is not set up right at this stage for this to go through.
No, okay, so the screening process was not in effect. So
no, but if it had been in effect, we would not have commented on that. And as the lady over here spoke up and said the people viewed are concerned about this.
You just told me who wasn't in that meeting that the screening process failed when the screening process was not actually set up.
Okay, it wasn't set up, but we haven't got the right criteria set up.
Hand up here.
Yes, I think the screening would have worked because we're still at liberty to raise things. You were concerned enough to raise that. We will still see everything that comes from Cornwall, the same as we do now, before the meeting. The only difference will be that we won't have to discuss everything at the meeting unless one of us wants to raise it. Whenever we bring something up for discussion, we have Tracy or Beth will come and find it and put it on the screen and we will talk about it. And sometimes it's so simple that it just seems an awful lot of faff just to discuss something that doesn't really provoke any discussion.
but we're still able to raise it. We need to do our homework before the meetings, but if any of us is concerned about anything that we read, from the same things from Cornwall Council, if any of us is concerned, we can raise it. And you raised the dark skies thing, and we're able to, you would still be able to raise that.
Okay, thank you. So,
speaking very much in support of that last point, because it seems to me that this is the most sensible way forward. And we say criteria aren't in place. Well, we can soon draft criteria. If we don't get it right on the first iteration, we'll have a change and have another iteration. Just because something doesn't appear immediately at the start really means that we aren't building in a sensible feedback loop to learn from. And my view is this is absolutely the right way forward.
I'll be on down, baby.
I'm sorry for the planning committee. It is an arduous job. I can't sit on it because my work commitments don't allow me to. And it must be a fairly tedious task going through these planning applications, many of which are completely uncontentious and are effectively waved through. But that doesn't mean to say it's a waste of time. I think everything that comes across the table needs to be looked at, and it needs, if necessary, to be discussed. And I think setting up a set of criteria where we say this type of planning application we effectively want through. This sort of thing we really aren't going to look at. We aren't going to go into granular detail. We're just going to push it to one side. I think that sends the wrong message to people. Even if that's not what is intended, to create 2 or 3 or more classes of planning application where we're not giving these smaller things our full attention is, I think, sending the wrong message. And I'm sorry for the planning committee, and I appreciate it's a big workload. But I think it's something that the public expects us to do. And inevitably, if we set up a criteria where a certain group of planning applications aren't given quite the level of scrutiny that others are, inevitably, at some point in the future, it will come back to bite us. Something will go through that we should have picked up on.
okay.
Once we agree the criteria of what Beth or the town plan is going to go through, as you say, Pat, we can still see everything. And I guarantee you, if the criteria is put in place and we all work to that, there is an opportunity for any one of us to come every time to every meeting and make them look at everything. Because you can just say, I want to talk about this one. I want to talk about this one. Regardless of what Beth or the chairman has said, because we'll see it. So in theory, by default, you're going to see if the criteria is working. Because we're going to start saying, this, I want to talk about this. And they're going to get to the stage where, why do you want to talk about it? And if you put your good case, then it might be that they're proved that they have missed something. But I do think we're still going to look at everything, and we're still going to have the opportunity before the meeting to go and ask questions to Tracy or Beth, or even talk to Tom and say, have I got this right? Have I misunderstood something? So it's not that we're trying to get rid of anything, it's that we're trying to focus on the things that are really, really significant to the town. Things that we might miss because we're too busy doing other things, if that makes sense. I mean, based on my experience, it's quite busy, the planning committee, so that's where I would leave it.
Yeah, Councillor Colwell said that we need to look at everything and if necessary discuss it. That's exactly what we intend to do, but we don't intend to discuss it if it's not necessary. That's all.
Yeah, okay. And based on what you were saying, it sounds like there is the safety net of anybody can say this has slipped through, bring it back. So,
yeah, I think the full council should endorse the recommendation from the committee. It's been democratically arrived at by that committee, and they know what they're doing. I'm not on the planning committee, but you know, So therefore, I propose that the recommendation is adopted.
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm kind of less enthusiastic about this myself than I was previously, because my hope was that, I know it might sound funny to some people, but I was really genuinely hopeful that we could devote more time to discussing policies and even considering in detail whether we should review our neighbourhood development plan. There's also this issue of the neighbourhood priority statements coming up, and I'm just a bit unsettled. That's unsettled. Right, but I think that it's worth giving it a six month trial. So I will in fact second the proposal.
We have a proposal that's been seconded to agree this, as I read earlier. I'm not going to read it all out again. I think we all know what we're voting on. So in that case, all in favour? Against? Abstain? FES 11625, that the public conveniences operate a minimum 7 AM till 8 PM. I assume that's opening hours until Easter 2026. For the facilities manager to have the discretion to extend the opening hours as and when necessary.
This is effectively formalising situation, giving a steer to the facilities manager as to a minimum level that the council feel should be in place right throughout the autumn and winter period. If situations arise where he feels it necessary for the toilets to be open longer than that, then he has the discretion to do so. So it's a little bit of a housekeeping exercise. It formalises the situation, it gives a steer to the facilities team. The facilities manager can work with this, and I recommend it to the council.
Is that a proposal?
That's the proposal.
I understand the discretion to extend the opening hours to the facilities manager, but has he actually agreed to the first part and happy about it, not just agreed to it? Thank you.
I was just going to second it.
Somebody else have their hand up for comment before?
No, it was just a second. It was.
Oh, okay. In that case, all in favour? Against? Abstain? Through. So finally, FES 11725 to re-tender the pitch and putt building without the requirement for the golf facility as long as the use falls within the leisure requirements, i.e. not a commercial enterprise.
Yeah, as councillors will know, that there are covenants on the downs about commercial activity. This is just the acceptance of reality that the pitch and putt may have run its course as a sort of business opportunity. It may be a little bit of an albatross around the neck for anybody who wants to operate from that building. It doesn't preclude community groups coming forward and putting forward proposals. It doesn't preclude somebody running it as a sort of community interest operation or anything like that. It is just a way of getting new expressions of interest without necessarily running the pitch and putt.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with the bulk of the wording, but after thinking about it, I would like to propose a slight amendment. I'm sure the chairman won't mind.
It's probably the same when I'm thinking.
Right, well, so I read it?
Go for it.
Right, okay. To re-tender the pitch and putt building, and then this is where it changes, with an option not to have to provide a golf the golf facility, and then the rest is the same.
Yeah, that's.
So there is
I was going to add with or without, because some
Yeah.
people might
Want to carry on doing it.
Leave the option to one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That was what it was, Kevin.
Yeah, the intention was never to prevent people running a PC park.
Are
Yeah.
you happy
So I'm
to
happy to
amend?
accept that.
Have you got the amended? Are we?
Yeah, Tracy.
Somebody second it? Right, we all happy, we know what we're voting on? Right, all in favour?
I've only had a question. She had a hand up.
Sorry.
Sorry.
As much as I agree, because I think it is a bit, like you say, hanging around the neck, but how much are we going to lose through removing that? Because is it still being, or was it used this year? Was it in?
Somebody.
Oh, that's how much we made.
How
How
much?
much are we going to lose getting rid of it with stock and flags and stuff? Not a lot. Oh, brilliant, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, perfect, thank you.
We might even go.
Okay, all in favour? Against? Abstain? Good. To approve the Collections Development Policy 2025, that's the Heritage Centre. So I think we've all been given a paper on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I can just say, this is part of the council's process to redo their accreditation process, which they're doing in the next 18 months. So they're needing to make sure the policies are in order. And I'm happy with the content.
Yeah, I'm happy to propose that we do this.
I'll second it.
Seconded, okay, all in favour? Against? Abstain? Excellent, we're shotgunning through now. To approve the finance reports, the schedule of payments made between the 19th of September and the 2nd of October 2025. We've all got an attached copy. Anybody got anything to add? Councillor Jennings.
Says here, Bude Climate Partnership, £19,000, or nearly 20. I thought that was all over and done with.
Do you read your emails, Councillor Jennings?
I don't get emails, Michael.
Ah, okay. Fantastic. Would you like that one?
Yeah, it's a very final payment. So the initiative has come to an end, the council isn't involved anymore, but some suppliers needed to be paid and so on. So because the money had to come through the lottery, through us, because we were the lead partner, and then be passed on to BCP, and then they pay the suppliers and so on. So that's just what has happened. That's a very final payment, so you won't see any more payments relating to BCP in any future financial records.
So all this money is going to go off to pay bills in that.
Yeah, that's part of what was originally agreed with the lottery. None of that money has come through. That's nothing to do with the town council.
No, I know it's nothing to do with the council.
It's not our money.
I realise that,
It's
but
facilitating it from the lottery to them.
so do the lottery, are these lot going to put accounts out then so everybody can see where the money went?
I can't answer on behalf of them. I don't even know where they are anymore.
Well, exactly. I don't. But obviously something must be going on if they've got bills to pay.
I'm sure the lottery cost check.
I was going to say, yeah, this is very much between the lottery and whatever is left of BCP. As we were the financial guarantor, so to speak, the payment had to come from the lottery to us, to them, rather than direct lottery to them. So it is very much just a banking exercise. It's come in, it's gone out. It's not local taxpayers' money.
No, I realise it's not our money. I just wondered where the hell it was going. That was all.
Yeah, well, it's gone to them to pay bills. I don't know what those bills are. We don't need to know. The lottery do the checking and then authorise the payment, and it just gets facilitated by us, basically. And that is the last one we should ever see.
Right, that's...
Most of us should have got the email. If you had an email account, Councillor Jennings, you would have got an email.
Yeah, but you missed one slight problem there.
You haven't got an email account.
You try getting them out. How do you do it?
Oh. Right, enough. I'm going to propose we approve now.
Note them, Mr. Chairman, yeah.
Or note them, sorry, yeah, all in favour? Good. The schedule of payments to be made on the 3rd of October, which you've all got a copy attached. I'll second it. All in favour? Excellent. Receive items of correspondence from the clerk.
I don't have anything else.
Good, there we are. To note the date of the next meeting, which will be Thursday, the 6th of November 2025. You all noted it? Good, meeting closed.